Welcome to the This Could Make Us Famous podcast. You've heard all the stories of the rich and famous. But what about everybody else? Some of the greatest and funniest stories come from everyday people. Here, we share their stories and just maybe make them famous. Let's get started. Here is your host, Jason McCormick.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Jason, your host. And today, guys, do you recognize this beautiful man here? It's been a while. Welcome to the show, Justin Ocean. Dude, how many podcasts has it been since you've been on?
At least 3.
3? That's it? I looked back at the episode 19, and we have like a couple thousand views. I think it's a couple thousand. Let me see here. It's pretty amazing. I was looking at well, I can't look at it. I don't have I'm on airplane mode. Am I not going to be able to do oh, I'm not even on Wi-Fi. That's why. But anyways, yeah, on episode 19, we have over 1,000 views for sure. Is that you just constantly clicking on the video, watching it over and over? Look how amazing I am.
What country are they all from? That's what I'm asking.
From some country. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now that we got the introduction out of the way, we are under a freeze warning. Is that the word? No, a national emergency. Freeze, like, we're under a national emergency. Apparently, the Kansas City power grid is at its full capacity.
Well, ever since the election, it just keeps getting better.
It does. And technically, it's extremely irresponsible for me to be using electricity right now, but I want to film the show really quickly, and then I'm going to cut all this off. And they may do it for us. We may be in the middle of the show and they cut it off. So, yeah, a lot of people are losing their power right now. Because it's planned, I guess. They're trying to shut power off to conserve electricity. It's kind of crazy. It's like, what, -8 degrees out?
Yeah, it's a good time to conserve heating.
Yeah, let's cut the power when people are freezing to death. But anyways, so the show must go on. We're going to wrap this up quick today. But anyways, we missed you guys. I hope you guys have been doing very well and that you all are staying warm. So, Justin, what have you been up to, man?
And, not a lot's changed. Let's see what's happened.
What happened since? I mean, you did the 4,000.
I got married. That happened. Yeah.
Oh, Justin got married, and I was actually at his wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us all about it. Tell us about your beautiful significant other.
Well,
that's all I got.
And that's all I got. There's nowhere to start, really. But it was a great wedding, and planned out well. Good scenery. The girl was nice also. That was good. It was a girl.
The girl.
Is that okay to say now? Can I?
The woman. The thing, the object of my desire.
I married a woman. Now, that doesn't mean I'm a homophobe. Just, I'm sorry. I'll apologize to whomever I need to. But yeah, she is the prettier of the two halves, I'll say. So,
well, welcome to the Married Up Club. We're going to cheers to that.
Yes.
You know what? It feels good to have a good woman that is very kind and takes good care of us, because us men, sometimes we need a little help, a little guidance, So
thank you, Mom.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you for all those moms out there. Yeah, man. So I remember I don't know if the last podcast, it was the mouthwash. No, it wasn't. But you have hit some milestones with your channel. I remember we were trying to celebrate you hitting 4,000 subscribers, and you only had actually like 3 more left to hit that, and you did. So you came back on, and you honored your word, and you drank mouthwash. And I think that was on episode 19, so you guys should check that out.
I'm checking the subscriber count so I can try to get some accuracy.
Well, you're on airplane mode. You have to turn that off, I guess.
Yeah, there we
So yeah, he drank mouthwash, but it wasn't a big full bottle of mouthwash. It was actually a small bottle, and it didn't have alcohol in it, so he was safe. But yeah, and since then he hit another milestone, and you're at like over 5,000 now.
5,467. That's just off the top of my head.
That's insane. So congratulations on your success of the channel.
It's growing. It's not, explosive, but it's steady.
The key to it all, I mean, and I noticed that you've been putting a lot more time into it. You've had your channel for over 10 years, and you've been putting out a lot of work, a lot of time, and putting out at least a podcast a month, right?
In the last year and a half, I've done more than I did in the 10 years before it.
And you've noticed growth since then, just because you've been doing that. And that's awesome, man. Like I know your channel without a doubt is going to be, it's going to be at 100,000 before you know it. So the key is to be able to make money doing it eventually. It's like, I got 1 million subscribers, but still don't do it for a living.
Haven't made a dime.
Dude, I gotta show you something pretty cool. This is a throwback. Usually it's Throwback Thursday, but we're gonna do a Throwback Tuesday. Check this handsome feller out. Guys, look at that. That's me, yours truly, back in 2009. Look how skinny I was. Mm-hmm. And I looked like Rod Stewart with his hair.
So what's this thing right here?
I had a lip ring. That thing? This is an amazing story. That little thing right there is a mite from the Bible. You know the widow's mite, the coin?
I thought that's
actually from Israel, and it's over 2,000 years old. And I still have it, yeah. Oh. I should have brought it up, but anyways, yeah, that was me when I was skinny, and people said that my hair looked like Rod Stewart, and I was so offended by that. I'm like, how dare you compare me to Rod Stewart? You know who that is. You're a huge 80s fan, Justin.
Yeah. I never got into Rod Stewart a whole lot, but you did look like Rod Stewart.
So, okay, let's talk 80s right now. We're dabbling in the 80s a little bit. So, give me your best knowledge about the 80s. Who do you think was the greatest band of the 80s?
Tell us your thoughts. You mean me.
I mean you, Justin. Who do you think was the most influential band or even person of the 80s in the music world?
There's so many bands. It's really hard to... Duran.
How could I have guessed that?
Let me explain. Here's why. Now, you could argue, of course, that they were the greatest, but there's so many bands. There's a lot of bands that could claim, the greatest. First, like a couple that just pop right in my head, Rolling Stones, The Police. But the thing is, Duran changed the way music was done, and they changed the way videos were done forever. And they were kind of technically, unless you're counting the Beatles, which is stupid, they were really the first boy band. So they pioneered a lot of things, and they did have a crap ton of hits as well. And they would have kept going had they not broken up in 1985.
So you think Duran was probably the most influential group of the 80s? They pioneered a lot, in the music world. I've heard some of their stuff, and what would you say is one of their biggest hit of the 80s?
Biggest hit in terms of people knowing the hit is really probably Hungry Like the Wolf.
Yeah. I love that song.
And that might really overall be their biggest hit. I can't remember off the top of my head, but that was from the Rio album. The whole album was one hit after another. It was one of those albums. But I think the Reflex might have actually been more popular in terms of higher up the charts. I'll have to double check that. But they also did this weird thing that you never see anymore. They were huge in the early 80s, and they were called the New Romantics, part of the New Romantic movement. Other dudes like Gary Newman and Devo and some other...
Wasn't there a band called the Romantics in the 80s?
There was, but they weren't part of the New Romantics. It was and Duran was British, but it was kind of a keyboardish sound with a 4/4 dance beat going a lot. Synth sound. What were we talking about?
And that concludes
I
our
wonder why I
dementia
lost my-
segment of the podcast.
Vote for Joe Biden.
All right, I got a question for you real quick while you're thinking about what you're going to say. Who wrote, this is a good question, who wrote the song Hungry Like a Wolf?
Out of the band?
No, just who wrote the song?
That was well, it was.
I'm throwing them off right now.
If you look in the album cover, it should say 3 or 4 of the band members all wrote the song.
Yeah, it really wasn't a trick question. It was just
Okay.
It was just to test your cognitive functions right now.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah. So the weird thing that they did, all right, check this out. There were 5 band members, and of course, anybody that was born, okay, let me rephrase that. Anybody that's like over 40 years old is going to instantly remember Duran Duran, and any woman that's over 40 years old probably had multiple posters up on their wall.
Right.
There are 5 band members, and 3 of them, absolute coincidence, they're all British. 3 of them had the same last name, Taylor. Kind of weird.
Oh,
You had, Nick Rhodes, who wrote a lot of the music and did the keyboards and was fascinating at creating melodic hooks. Simon Le Bon was the lead singer, who also wrote a lot of the music, had a decent voice. And then the other 3 guys, one was a great guitarist that helped write the music, which was John Taylor. And the other 2 Taylors, Andy Taylor and the guy everyone probably forgets, Nick Taylor, I believe, were saxophone and drummer, Anyway, so
very talented people.
they're doing the tons of tours everywhere, and they just finished their 7 and the Ragged Tiger, which had the Reflex and New Moon on Monday, which, by the way, is the first video I ever saw. Really good video. And they started doing the arena tour, and kind of sex, drugs, rock and roll, the whole thing just crashed the band. And a couple of those guys, I think they just started freaking out with where everybody's lives were going, and they left. They're like, I'm done with this. The other 3 guys saw the potential and kept hanging on. And right at that time, they had just come out with A View to a Kill, which was a huge hit. And the music was used in a Bond film. Like all of the music in probably the worst Bond film of all time, granted.
But the song was the best part. The music was the best part.
Duran Duran did the music for the whole thing, it kind of in the same way Daft Punk did all the music for the Tron Legacy movie. And they just came out with Wild Boys, which was also a huge hit. And they just broke up at that time at like their high points, like James Dean getting killed at his high point or something.
Right.
So 2 of the band members go off, and there's just the 3 of them left. And they form this band called Arcadia, and they have a smash hit called Election Day. And then they're like, we don't want to be Arcadia. We want to go back to being Duran Duran. So it's still the 3 of them, main 3. And they do the album Notorious, which is the famous song Notorious, Skin Trade and American Science, which was kind of a minor hit. And then they fall off the scene for like 5 years. No one cares.
So these guys are just like all over the place.
This is the exhaustive history of Duran Duran for our show.
Dude, is there any bigger Duran Duran fan than this guy over here?
It's just music history.
I'll tell you what, one thing I love about this band is they have the most beautiful, glorious hair I've ever seen. Look at these pictures, man. So you got that. I mean, what is that?
It's all real. Is that the original Zoolander look right there?
It probably is.
We got to pop that up on your.
Yeah, I'll pop it up on the phone where they can see it, or on the thing. Yeah, look at this, and this is. Oh shoot, what's that from? Oh, that's them older.
It's an older one. Yeah, they just kept making music.
Hey, their hair still looks pretty dang good though.
Well, to wrap it up, so in '91 they came out with their second self-titled album that had the smash #1 in the world hit Ordinary World, which they were a pop 80s band that then came back during the grunge era in the early 90s and ripped off another #1 hit. Who does that?
Right. Wow. So were you more into pop? Like, what would you say like Duran Duran would fall under? Like, is it pop, or like what kind of music would you say that Duran Duran would be classified as?
It was definitely pop, but it was also dance floor music. Like clubs all over the world would be playing a lot of their stuff, especially from the Rio album, a little bit from the next one.
Wow. I think probably one of the most influential bands of my time. Like, I mean, your prime time was the 80s. I was born in the 80s, but I really got into the punk rock stuff, like
Black Sabbath. Yeah.
Black Sabbath. I mean, I definitely remember them. My parents loved them a lot. I mean, but I liked Blink 182, Green Day, stuff like that. And I even got into some of the alternative music like Korn, Metallica. You know, that was very influential to me when I was younger. And of course, all the classics growing up. I mean, I'm just a huge music fan, and I appreciate most genres. I don't like. I want to see what you think about it, but I don't like R&B at all.
Yeah,
I can't stand it. I was joking around with someone the other day. They were listening to R&B at work, and I'm like, you know what? I like a lot of music, but I can't stand R&B. And I felt bad saying that, but I mean, it's like they're like, oh yeah, rub me down with some essential oils, baby. Mm-hmm. Essential oils.
That's the healthy R&B.
That's the healthy version. The other versions Organic. Are not essential.
Non-essential oils.
Yeah, not at all. But I don't know. I've really branched out in music. I used to be into heavy metal. I was a screamer in a band, like a screamo band. And I am kind of glad I grew out of all that stuff. I mean, I love the music, but I don't listen to it hardly ever anymore. So
hey, let's see that picture. Where's that picture at?
This one?
So...
And I had a lip ring too, by the way.
Is this before or after Screamo?
This was during.
I thought so.
Look at that.
So.
Screamo.
There's, I'm conjuring memories of The Never-Ending Story. And there's somebody from there you remind me of. What was his name?
The dragon?
Yeah.
Can I be the dragon, please?
I think it was the Indian boy that rode the dog. Yeah.
That's awesome. But look, you know what's funny? When I grab this picture, I almost went like this to try to zoom in on my. That's how screwed up we've gotten, man.
This is where we are.
I'm like grabbing a picture like this. Like, what the?
Why can't I?
Can't. So anyway, yeah, man. Justin and I don't know if I've mentioned this on other shows, but we work together. And so we get to see a lot of each other's faces 12 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
How do you make it through 12 hours, Justin? What's the technique?
Well, the secret is I tell managers I have to go to the bathroom and then I sleep.
And I'm the sweet lead,
I'm kidding, John, if you're listening.
He might actually. You know what's funny? I was in the office the other day, and he made a comment because I said I was walking past these boxes of donuts. The Krispy Kreme donuts. And I'm like, man, this is torture. Someone's leaving this in there. And I'm trying to do the keto diet. And he said, I thought you were doing the Mediterranean diet. And I'm like, because that's something I mentioned in my podcast. And then for a second, I was rethinking everything I ever said on this podcast that would give me away. Because I've talked, business about my job,
Mm-hmm.
So... hopefully, and if you're listening, John, you're a great supervisor.
Wonderful.
Amazing. And Justin does not go to the bathroom a lot to sleep.
I had one day, I probably hit the bathroom. You remember that day? Like 6 times.
Yeah.
How do I say this politely on a podcast? I was pooping puddles. Uddles.
Oh, I almost caught you. Uddles.
It was some crazy and
that's awesome.
I mean, it was some crazy stuff. Anyway, so it's the mystery was the mystery. Keep drinking. You got just crazy straw for this. The crazy thing is, I had no idea what had happened. I had done absolutely nothing different, and and so then eventually we get to the bottom of it, and here's what I find out is, inconspicuously, my wife had put 3 heaping tablespoons of coconut oil in my protein shake the morning before.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So I guess coconut oil will do that to you.
Yeah. Well, and ultimately it was a good thing though, because it totally cleaned me out. Again, things you should not talk about on a successful podcast. So we're okay.
A very successful that everyone loves. Go ahead.
This poop could make us famous. The poop made me famous. I didn't poop for 2 days. It took that long to.
It cleansed you out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I heard that coconut
20
water is like a laxative. You know.
That makes sense now. Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm no expert on this, but it's what I hear. Word on the street. But I know you've been doing a lot of these vitamins and stuff, and you were experimenting with this stuff called paracetam.
Yes.
So what's your take on that? Because I've been looking into psychotropic, I guess that's what they call them, or not psychotropic, nootropic. Nootropics. That's God. All right. What button? Oh my God.
Yeah, man. Well, my opinion is I'm at some grade A disco.
This is awesome.
Paracetam was developed in the 60s in Belgium, actually, and it was sort of a breakthrough for just a brain enhancement drug. And it passes what they call the blood-brain barrier, which I don't fully understand it now that I'm trying to remember, but basically, more or less, it doesn't go into your stomach and mess anything up. It just goes straight to your bloodstream and into your brain. Mm-hmm. But what it does, and I found all this out because I watched the film Limitless, and I thought, you know,
I love that movie.
Maybe there's a pill that actually does that to some degree.
Right.
And that's how I found out. Paracetam. And this stuff, technically what it does in your brain is it speeds up the erotic pathways. The neurons firing and the nerves and the pathways in your brain, so you're thinking faster, and it makes more connections happen. Mm-hmm. It's got kind of a short shelf life and only lasts 4 hours, and it's very, very, very easy to build a tolerance to, which I think I've already done. But long story short is, you know, it's completely legal, it's completely safe, and you see a lot of what are called nootropics that it was the original nootropic of. You see them everywhere now because people are starting to figure out that they can pass tests in college if they take these.
So it's very similar to Adderall, but without like a lot of the side effects as Adderall.
And it's completely masked the failure of our school systems. Yeah, it's similar to Adderall, but you know, it doesn't open the door to demons and make you lose your mind. So this has about a 4-hour shelf life. And the first time I tried it, I pop it down and nothing happens. And then in about 15 minutes, literally, it's like literally colors got brighter and I could think faster. It was really
so it's like that same effect, like the movie Limitless when everything just lit up. Mm-hmm. You should have brought me a pill. I'd love to pop one of those.
Yeah. But first, a word from our sponsors, Paracetam.
Paracetam. Welcome
to the world
of Paracetam. Are you tired of living life the same way? And it just ends like that.
Tired of living life.
Oh man, that's funny. So is there any paracetam or any kind of product nootropic that could help with crappy podcasts?
There's really no cure for that.
Yeah.
It's one of the little offshoots of paracetam.
Are you tired of having a crappy podcast? Well, introducing not having a crappy podcast nootropic.
Awkward silence.
It's just an awkward.
Yeah. It improves your vocabulary, linguistic skills. I do way too much research because I had too much time on my hands, and it's because I received an inheritance and got fired from my job at the same time. More on that later. And there were all these guys that would talk about taking paracetam, and then it would increase their game when they were talking to girls because they could actually think up words that, you know, sounded like they were educated.
Yeah.
But it does that. It's like you could take that and then like write a little bit of a novel and write a little bit of a novel. But like I said, it's got a short shelf life, and you know, you could go 3 months and then you build up a tolerance and it doesn't do anything anymore.
Right. So like a lot of pharmaceuticals, you know, like I took Adderall and even antidepressants before. I don't do that anymore. It's been a long time, but you build a tolerance to it. And I think people, though, they like the feeling of feeling a drug because then they think it's working. But I think the whole point of it is that you want to be able to notice subtle changes, but not like where you feel like you're on drugs.
Right.
You know, even though it may sound really good.
And this has nothing to do with why we're wearing sunglasses either.
Exactly, man. Well, dude, I wanted to, there's some videos, there's a new segment I want to do. Okay. I've been talking about doing it on the podcast for a long time, and I want to jump right into it and not make you guys wait for good content until the end. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you the segment I'd like to call the funniest video of the week. It's retarded. Sorry, I can't use that word retarded. I mean, like
the funniest video.
The funniest videos of the week. So I was watching these hilarious videos, and oh my God, HGTV, I watch a lot of their stuff, and I don't even know if this is on HGTV, but it's a show called Trading Spaces. And there's a video I watched where they did a reveal. You know how like on the different shows where they remodel homes and they do a big reveal and people are blown away or whatever. Well, these are the fails.
That's horrible.
Dude, look at this. All right, guys, I'm going to play this for you. Listen to their reaction. And we did not create this. This is not our show. We are just simply reviewing this and reacting to it. It's hilarious. So without further ado, I introduce to you the worst reactions to a reveal on HGTV.
Open your eyes and see your new family room.
Look at her reaction, dude. This is... Oh my God.
Well, I really like the wainscoting.
You do?
I really do.
It's different.
It's different.
It's different.
And the furniture needed slipcovers.
Yeah, that's denim. The big question is what do you think about the fireplace?
Oh my God, dude. This is
You
horrible.
guys are going to be fixing that in a little bit. So,
Was that a
Fixing
threat?
it.
Was that a threat?
I just see a lot of firewood.
so
Do they plan on matching their shirts, or is that just...
I'm going to have to leave the room.
Leave the room, dude.
Disappointed. Well, I'm going to have to.
Yeah, it's,
This is...
boy, she's not happy.
he knows
I know
that
when she's
feel,
not
yeah.
happy.
She's going to
Mark.
kill me after that.
Is there anything that you can
Dude, look how she doesn't even know what to say, man.
fix certain elements of it to make it better?
You can hear her cry.
I don't even know where to start. I see one piece of furniture that looks remotely like the way I left it. And the rest of it is just so not us.
Chocolate,
Did you
bro. I mean,
enjoy the experience?
It was wonderful.
You had fun during the
she's
show.
in the back.
First 2 minutes, I would go through
I
and
hate
just
my
for the
life.
experience. Yeah, but
Oh my God, she's...
Well, let's go comfort Pam, shall we? Okay.
I want to die. Like, we're going to try to...
I'm just thinking of all the fun they have together as a couple.
Dear God, dude. All right, we got to look at some really funny ones. All right, and then there's... Oh, this one.
What's with the jail shirt?
Oh, I can't watch that. That's a different show. This one's hilarious, dude. Fruities.
Hope
Sounds
that you
Welsh.
like the next room as much.
Hope you... Oh my
heck?
God,
That
dude.
beat button.
It's like Alice in Wonderland threw up all over the place.
What do you think, Rachel? You've got your colour.
Yeah, I do. I like the wardrobes. And
She hates it.
No, it's too much.
It's too
For
much.
me, it's too busy.
Too much.
I wouldn't have done anything like it, and I don't like it. I'm supposed to be able to go to sleep in a bedroom, and it's like a kid's play area. I think it looks horrendous. It doesn't look anything like a bedroom.
Oh my
Sorry, but
God.
it's big thumbs down from me.
My God,
is.
dude, look
I
at...
think it's even too much for Rachel if she was to tell the truth.
Is it, Rachel?
I like the bed and the wardrobes. I like the theme of it.
So overall, you quite like it.
Yeah.
She hates
I
it,
like
dude.
the lights.
Don't like it at all.
You don't think she likes it?
She
Definitely
freaking
not.
hates it.
I think Rachel likes it though, John. I know you're telling us she doesn't, but I think
No,
she does.
I'll leave it to her.
You're answering.
He's so pissed right now.
Much out of Rachel's mouth, actually. Come on, Rachel.
Well, I think it'll grow on us. I do like the bed and the wardrobes. I did ask for colour.
If Rachel likes it, yeah, so be it.
And so if Rachel likes
What a good
it,
husband.
I mean, what guy wouldn't want
Not for long.
yellow background with flowers?
So you were going to
everywhere.
accept what Rachel wanted, and you
This
said
is
if
hideous.
she's happy, that's fine. So what you're actually saying now is it isn't fine.
Drunk. Horrible.
Just horrible.
Good.
Nah, sorry. It's not for me.
So
Oh
what
my God, this
message
is
would you have
hilarious.
for the designer,
Don't touch the other room.
Don't touch the other room.
right?
Oh my God, dude. Don't touch the other room. Then I got one more, and then, this one is probably going to go down in history as the worst remodeling I've ever.
The last one's hard to beat.
Oh, this one will blow your mind. Look at this. Oh my God, dude.
Oh dear.
What of those every day?
Oh my God, dude.
My God. Oh.
That's different, isn't it?
That's a little fish tank in the hallway.
This at all.
Steve?
I don't know.
Steve doesn't know.
Shocked.
I'm very shocked.
He knows.
It's not my hug I wanted.
It's not the. Of course, it's not the look.
I don't really like
I don't even think a
colour.
freaking hummingbird likes that look.
No.
Oh my
I'm not
God.
sure about the carpet.
Is that miniature golf?
And
The green carpet.
at this moment in time, I'm regretting it.
That is horrendous, man.
So shall we move down and have a look and see what else is along here?
I'm a bit scared to see.
Go on, June.
Terrified.
Being attacked.
Another fish tank then. Yeah, that's nice.
Oh my God. It's that
found
same.
his end?
You can see through
As
it.
I'm assuming it's Rowan that's done this. I think he was off his head.
So do I. Should we go and see what upstairs is like?
Kind of a cool idea for a fish tank, though.
Yeah, but while you're sitting there taking a,
Equally out.
going to the bathroom, someone. Oh my God.
Like a dollhouse.
Oh look, they got the pictures of the kiddies on the
Wow.
wall. Where's all the clothes going to go?
I don't know.
Quite like it though.
Oh, God.
So June, do you think
Oh
you
my
know this
God.
is what you were looking for? You wanted something more feminine.
I don't dislike it, but I'm just worried about
Dude,
where to
this
put
is
everything.
ridiculous. This lady's
And the
style
pink?
is.
Yeah, I don't mind the pink. I don't mind the pink. I can live with that.
But the hug I really, really wanted isn't there. So for that, I'm disappointed.
Oh man.
Walking into the hallway was a nightmare for me because I was so worried. It was so radical and it was very obvious walking in
Oh,
that
wow.
June hated it.
Of course she hated it. Look at that.
You know,
How does that even make any sense? Like you can't even walk down the hallway.
I know much.
Oh my
time and
God,
effort
dude.
Stephen's put into
She's-
the house, and
I think somehow that would brought them closer together.
I'd be crying too, man.
Now they have a trauma bond.
A trauma bond.
Which is your least favorite of the three?
My least favorite is definitely the garden one on the wall. That has to be the worst one I've ever seen. It makes no sense whatsoever.
You'd have to. That's not going to take a lot of water. Watering the wall
I guess
every
those
day?
were real flowers, weren't they?
I don't know.
I can see it so crazy that she put real flowers in there. But so yeah, that concludes that segment of the worst, crappiest remodel makeover in the history of the world. So anyways, that's that thing. So Justin, what else do you want to talk about? You want to talk about the end of the freaking world and how crazy things have been since the new regime stepped in?
There's so much to talk about.
There's too much to talk about, and I know you're really passionate about it. So let's bring your passions to life right now on this podcast. What do you think about everything that's going on right now? like your brain's about to and that's pretty much all I got to say about that.
Well, that's it for our.
It's funny.
You know, where do you start?
Let's start with Nazi Germany back.
Okay, so here's how the Germans could have won the war.
Yeah, he's actually a German history buff. You know a lot about
World War II.
World War II. Okay. Well, let's talk about that then.
Well, actually, there was parallelisms between what was happening in 30s Germany and what's happening now, especially with the silencing of any oppositional voices.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I was watching. It's funny you bring this up. It's on YouTube. There's this Dietrich Bonhoeffer movie, and I didn't know a lot about him before. It was a name of some Christian pastor dude that was around in World War II, and he was sniffing out what the Nazis were putting down and speaking against it. And anyway, that's all I knew. Watched the movie, and the dude was really cool. And he did preach out a lot against what was happening, and he helped Jews escape, whole 9 yards. But the thing is, like it would show the Gestapo come in and routinely question what people were doing, and give them the evil eye and where's your papers kind of thing. And I felt like this could happen right now.
Right.
Totally how it felt. And the scariest thing is that they were able to turn the entire German people, minus the Jews and a few others, they were able to turn the German people against the Jewish population, against one group of people in the land just by propaganda. And,
oh, wow. I see where you're going with this.
And that's what's scary. As soon as you demonize that entire group of people, then anything can happen. And the reality is that when you watch the movie, because they had Jewish people play Jewish people, I'm pretty certain, and they obviously had German people play Germans. When you watch the movie, you realize that there is a different physical look between the average German population and what Jewish people looked like that were living in Germany.
Yeah.
I believe they were probably blends of like Arabic, Israel land.
Right, yeah, mixed, yeah.
And then German. But the thing is, what's sick is how much the Germans really they jumped on those physical differences and made them out to look like monsters. And what you see now is you'll see the cameras for major news media networks. Well, they might not do things on physical appearances, but they're starting to frame godly Christian middle-class people in the Midwest as those kind of people. And whenever they just want to take down someone they don't like, they'll just edit up things they say and spin it around to make them look like an idiot.
Right. Well, it seems like that's what's going on now. Did you see the other day when Trump's lawyer called out the CNN, or not CNN, it was CBS? Did you see that? It was hilarious, man.
Heard about it. I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I don't even have the video pulled up, but he rebuked CBS and basically told them off and said that you guys are blood hungry for review or views and stuff. So let's see here. This is funny, dude. Let me see if I can. All right, check this out. Oh, I don't want to do it through CBS though, because they're going to edit the crap out of it. Maybe let's see. Well, let's get CBS the benefit of the doubt. Yeah.
Oh.
Joining me now is former President Trump's attorney.
Dude,
Michael
he
Van de
freaking
Veen.
blasted
Thank you,
them
sir,
right.
for joining us.
It's
Let's
amazing.
get right into those words that we heard from Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. He ended the trial with his passionate speech about President Trump's involvement in the insurrection. During it, he said that the former president is still liable for everything he did during his period in office. Are you expecting to face more charges against Mr. Trump in the near future? And do you anticipate being part of that defense?
I got to say this part. The first thing that needs to be talked about is just listen to the way we're quasi semi-professionals here, but listen to the way that we've been talking on the podcast and just the normal voice and everyday conversational normalcy that we use. And the simple few sentences that this news anchor lady that she said, we're all conditioned to hear it, so I get if this sounds weird, but just her voice inflections and the tones that she uses and the makeup and the extreme movements of her face going up and down and over and emphasizing certain words, it's almost like witchcraft or something.
Yeah, it's
so
totally,
Moving on.
No, that's just political rhetoric, and I was hopeful that something would come out of this, that the political rhetoric would stop out of Washington, D.C.
Is that the lawyer from Breaking Bad?
It hasn't.
It's Trump's new lawyer.
Were you, though, surprised to hear those words coming from the leader of the Republican Party in the Senate?
I'm not surprised to hear a politician say anything at all. No.
That's truth.
Well, throughout the trial, you denied that Mr. Trump had a role in inciting the January 6th insurrection at the Capitol. You argued, first of all, that there was no insurrection, but during your closing arguments, you seemingly admitted that there was, in fact, an insurrection, using that word, saying that was not up for debate. What role did the former president play?
You didn't understand the case. I used the word.
I'll give you the opportunity to clarify, sir.
Sure. I used the word insurrection in my closing argument when quoting the charging documents. What happened at the Capitol on January 6th is absolutely horrific. But what happened at the Capitol during this trial was not too far away from that. The prosecutors in this case doctored evidence. They did not investigate this case, and when they had to come to the court of the Senate to put their case on, because they hadn't done any investigation, they doctored evidence. It was absolutely shocking. I think when we discovered it and we were able to expose it and put it out, I think it turned a lot of senators. The American people should not be putting up with this. They need to look at who these House managers were and look to see whether these are the folks they want representing them. It was shocking to me. Wouldn't have believed it.
She's trying to think of what BS she could say.
Let's follow up with the point that you're making right now about the House managers, as you say, doctoring evidence. And the argument,
they didn't
to be clear
deny
for our
it.
viewers,
They didn't deny it. I put it in front of them 3 times.
To be clear for our viewers, what you're talking about now is a check mark. That's a verification on Twitter that did not exist on that particular tweet. A 2020 that should have actually read 2021, and the selective editing, you say, of the tapes. Is that the doctored evidence of what you're speaking?
That's awesome.
Not enough for you?
That's not enough.
That's not enough for you?
No,
wait. No,
sir,
no.
I'm not a juror in this trial. What I want to be clear for our viewers is what you're referring to, because not everybody has been following.
It's not okay.
No, not everybody.
To doctor a little bit of evidence. Respectfully.
I have not said it is. I have not said it is okay.
Ma'am, your question is
I want to be clear for our viewers.
Listen, what
I want to be clear for our viewers about what exactly you're saying when you say doctored evidence.
The media has to start telling the right story in this country. The media is trying to divide this country. You are bloodthirsty for ratings, and as such, you're asking questions now that are already set up with a fact pattern. I can't believe you would ask me a question indicating that it's all right just to doctor a little bit of evidence. There's more stuff that we uncovered that they doctored, to be frank with you. And perhaps that will come out one day. But we won this case, and I'm not a sore loser, but
this
what
dude's
happened,
bringing
or
it,
a
man.
sore winner, I should say. But what should happen is somebody should look at the conduct of these House managers. It's unconscionable, aside from all of the due process violations that my client had. And the media should be looking at a square, straight way.
Right.
The straight way. When I watch the news, I watch one station and it's raining. I watch another station at the same time and it's sunny. Your coverage is so slanted, it's got to stop.
Wow,
you guys have to stop and start reporting more like PBS does rather than a TV news show that doesn't.
This is the most truth I've heard anyone say on.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
I don't know how the news anchors and reporters can the mainstream and their affiliates, because they have affiliates in major cities and everything. How do they at this point? How do you live with yourself? Like, how do you just continue to? It's
what they keep. They're trying to they have a narrative and they're doing everything they can to push that on the American people. But listen to the rest of this. He just basically says what we need to do. It's pretty awesome.
Any journalistic integrity at all. What I'm telling you is that they doctored evidence. And I believe your question says, well, it's only a Twitter check and changing a year of a date here. They switched the date of a Twitter a year.
Yeah, a whole year, dude.
To connect it to this case. That's not a small thing, ma'am. The other thing they did is they put a check mark on something to make it look like it was a validated account when it wasn't. And when they were caught, they didn't say anything about it. They didn't even try to come up with an excuse about it. And that's not the way our prosecutors or our government officials should be conducting themselves.
She's turning her paper like, what?
And the media shouldn't be letting them get away with it either. I'm tired of the biased media on both sides, left and right. What this country wants, what this country needs, is this country to come together, to take the left and the right and find a middle ground and start responsibly being our public officials, our elected officials.
That's right.
And one of the reasons why they do it is because of the media, because the media wants to tell their narrative rather than just telling it like it is. And frankly, I'm tired of it. I'm not a media. I'm not in front of your cameras all the time. But what I've been subjected to.
I understand, and I've given you the opportunity.
You don't want to hear the truth. Yeah.
I've given you the opportunity. I will remind you that what I said was that for our viewers who have not been following all of the hours of this trial, to be clear about what you are speaking about. And I understand
I'm speaking
that you
about
seem
the House
very
manager's
upset.
failure to prove their case. That's what I'm telling
And
you. They weren't able to prove their case.
Acquittal. You have won the acquittal of your client.
Yes,
and if you'd like to continue to talk about this conversation, we can have that discussion.
Talk to them like
but for
your
me to
third
ask
grade
the
school
question,
teacher would talk to little Billy.
But for me to ask the question to clarify for our viewers,
on a paper
a slanted
talking
question
about
that
is
was
a
set
fair
up to
question.
say it's okay for them to cheat. That was your question. Isn't
I
it
didn't
okay
say
for
that.
them to cheat?
I didn't
it's
say
just
that.
a little bit. You said, to be fair, it was
It's
only
fine.
a check
I
on the
understand. You're
Twitter.
not-
That's what you said.
No, I've
you gotta
heard
live
enough.
by your words.
I
That's the
enough,
problem. The media has to start living by the truth.
Oh, that's good. Okay, now
and not try to create a narrative.
Michael Vander.
Boom. And then he takes his microphone.
Got a cool name too.
Yeah, what a Vanderbilt. Vanderbeep. Yeah, man. So he spit a lot of truth bombs at this lady, and I don't know. Can we actually come together as a country if we have the one thing that's always in our faces, and that's the media constantly pushing a narrative? And he did say, in all fairness, the left and the right. So we just constantly got this propaganda shoved in our face over and over. You can't even go to a restaurant without this being in your face. And they're telling you how to think, how to vote, how to be. And if you don't do what they say to do and react the way they tell you to react, then it's all over for you. You know, the cancel culture will destroy you. And that is scary, man. That's like, to me, it just seems like, you know, they're just taking our freedom of speech if we don't say what they want us to say or act the way they want us to act. They just shut you down.
I pretty much agree. I would clarify that the left and the right are actually, they're never really, we don't have to come together and agree with left and right principles and find a perfect common ground, but we have to come together and understand that we are we the people and we really run the country, and there's a place for the left and there's a place for the right, but there's not a place for elitism, globalists, and lies.
That's good.
And false narratives.
That's good. Yeah, because I mean, we all, when it comes down to it, we all have a different idea of what direction we want the country to go. You know, the left wants the country to go their way, and the right wants their country to go their way.
Oh yeah.
And they're completely different views on just about everything.
Yeah, people are different. I worked with a state's kind of juvenile rehabilitation services for a while, and we hired people from college, from universities with degrees, and half of them we hired out of I didn't personally hire them. I'm just speaking as if. About half of them were from the justice wing, and they were right-wing thinking people naturally. They're just born that way, They just have that kind of ability to see the justice in things. And the other half were kind of the social workers, and they had their own personality style, and they were more relational, and they taught like relational skills and stuff like that. And it's easy to hate the left because you were built differently, and it's easy to be on the left and get angry at the right because they were created a little bit differently. That's why it's like two pieces to the same puzzle. But what Vander Vooter, that guy, was clearly saying was that the media is just trying to play each side off against itself.
Right.
Right.
Basically that's what they're doing. They're just trying to get us to turn our attention towards each other where we're fighting one another. And it's caused this great division. And I don't understand why I guess they have an agenda themselves, and part of that is to create chaos in this country and division. And, if we can't learn to get along with people and have debates and disagreements, let me say this. On this podcast, I hated getting into politics because it was so divisive, but yet lately I've been talking about it. So I'm sure some listeners are like, dude, you're not even doing what you said you were going to do. Well, I don't think I should be ashamed anymore or be in hiding of what I believe, but I do at the same time, I feel like that being true to myself, but also I could still be nice to people and still agree to disagree and be able to hang out with them. I have friends that are, Democrats, liberals. I'm a conservative. And I think, you just leave it at that. Okay, you see this differently than me, but what common ground do we have? And I don't need to continue to be ashamed of voicing my views and my opinion on what I believe, because it's a free country and I have every right to do that, just like they have every right to, share their views. Mm-hmm. And, and you know what? I try to appeal to everybody, but even on the show, you can't win everybody over. There's people that are not going to like you, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah, that's very, very true words. Have never been spoken
ever.
But I've started to see some polls where I don't think I said that right. I've seen some polls that have started to.
What kind of polls have you seen just in the last month or two?
Well, they're polls about sexual problems, but it's nothing to do with the show. I'm moving on. And now I've seen some polls that are showing that people on the left and the right and the middle, it was something like the disapproval rating of where they felt the country was headed. It was like in the 30 percentile. And this is with the new administration in place. It was something like everyone on the right wing side is like, no, the country is not headed in the right direction. Everyone in the middle is like, no, the country is not headed in the right direction. And like half of the people on the left are like, no, the country is not headed in the right direction. And I think I was just saying this, but the difference, I used to be on the, right wing versus left wing thing myself. And I thought the problem was with the left in this country. But now I think the left and the right are finally, for the first time, starting to agree, and the blinders are coming off that it's not about the left versus the right as much as it is like the elitists that are the politicians that are completely out of touch with America and the rest of America.
Right.
It's just stuff like a really big issue they have right now, and I'll say this quickly because we don't have a lot of time left, but but it's like, why are we opening up the borders when we're not allowing our own people to, go to small businesses because of the COVID thing.
Right.
You know, it's like if people on the left are like, wait a second.
Well, there's a lot of what I say is insanity, like things that don't make any sense. Like, for example, you know, we're real prideful about the fact that we have the first female vice president, and yet we want to stay gender neutral, where we're not assuming genders or even calling people by their genders, but yet we acknowledge the first female vice president, but yet we're destroying everything that's female. Like women can't even have any pride in the sports because of the men are able to be in the sports. And I don't believe in hate towards people. Like I won't be hateful towards someone that's different or they see things differently, but a man is a man, in my opinion. And yeah, I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but...
Well, they painted themselves into a corner on that one. There is absolutely no way out, because on one side, you can't claim... If you're claiming that there is no such thing as really different genders that can't be switched back and forth, and if you're saying there's no difference between genders to the point that one can switch over right to the other with, not skip seamlessly without skipping a beat... But then you have competitions, and the men that switched over to ladies are winning hands down every competition. Oops, that's revealing the truth.
Yeah, it's not fair, and I feel like we're being disrespectful to women. I mean, that's how I feel, and I'm sure there's a lot of women out there that feel the same way. We're taking everything. When a man gets to be Woman of the Year, like Caitlyn Jenner or Bruce Jenner, that's just, it's wrong. So how many women do we see in men's sports that are transitioning? Not that many.
There, once in a blue moon, there's like a female high school wrestler or something.
Right.
But in professional sports, I don't know that there's ever been one.
Well, I mean, I'm sure people out there will be they're like, oh my God, I can't wait to prove them wrong.
It's confusion. People are just so confused. I actually talked to a lady, and she's smart, from Canada, and on Messenger.
You sounded surprised by that. Smart from Canada.
Well, I mean, she's from Canada, so we know she's
yes,
smart.
Canadians are very
have to be, right, because they're not us. And I was shocked because she didn't know that men just biologically, physically, on average, are stronger than women. She didn't know that the muscle fibers, like in a man's body, are stronger by fiber than like women's bodies are. And there's more. Then there's usually more of them. Some cases maybe not, but usually there is.
Well, I think we're just buying into all kinds of things that just don't, because we live in a political correct generation,
I think you're having a hard time. I just have another right there.
I think I'm good.
Thanks.
I don't want any of your Rona.
He means Corona.
Rona, yeah.
That did wonders for the brand, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It did wonders.
Is that why they switched to COVID-19? Because Corona paid Fauci enough money to stop using the damn name Corona?
Corona, please, you're ruining our company.
Can you switch it to the Budweiser virus? Appreciate it.
The Bud virus. And then their sales go through the roof. It's like, suckers.
The greatest virus in the world, and now the greatest beer.
Oh, the Beer Fest. That was one of your favorite movies ever.
More on that next episode.
Well, anyways, we are past the hour point, and we could go on for many more hours. I feel like as we talk more, we're starting to get more loose and
let's just
more like
this
ourselves
whole thing and start over.
Yeah, we just start all over, and I could be like, welcome to the podcast, and here we go. But anyways, no, we got to keep doing our thing and never give up, never quit, no matter what people think, no matter what people say, no matter what anyone believes. You just keep sticking with it, chasing your dreams. And that's what we're doing here at This Can Make Us Famous podcast. And I'm proud to say that Justin has been here along for the whole journey. And you were on the first episode. If you guys want a good laugh, just go back to the very, very first podcast. You will laugh your head off. The lighting was horrible, and we didn't know what we were doing. But I'm really proud to say that he's been there since the beginning, and hopefully he'll be here when the success is there. It may be 10 years from now, but as long as you don't quit, you'll make it. So
we're podcasting from an underground shelter after the nuclear war and an asteroid has dropped.
Or if we may not even be on again, because every time I do a show, I'm thinking that we're going to get canceled somehow because of some of the things we're saying. But
yeah, we're not popular enough yet.
Not popular
enough. Get there.
Yes, and that's what I'm afraid of, is like when we actually get there, 1 million plus subscribers, and then someone will resurface a video of something we said, and then it'd be the end of us. But maybe by then, though, we won't have a huge problem with cancel culture. So,
yeah,
or maybe it'll be worse.
Well, they would just take the show down before anybody probably really saw it anyway. So,
true.
There you go.
True dat.
We'd have to show back up with fake mustaches and a new name.
That's hilarious. I saw this funny meme, dude. It was Trump, and he had like a mustache. He had a mustache on, and he was on Twitter. It's like he had like a different profile. Oh man,
the real Tronald Dump.
El Trumpe. Oh man, that's funny. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in to this amazing podcast. We had a good time, had some laughs, and we fumbled our way through it. And now it's time to come to a close and say goodbye to you beautiful people. We have to conserve energy for our people here in Kansas City, and pray for us. Hopefully we don't lose power and freeze to death because it's super cold outside. But love you guys. Take it easy. Let's come together, make the world a better place. As always, from all of us here at This Can Make Us Famous podcast, have a good night. See you later. Stay tuned for the next episode.
Thanks for listening to the This Could Make Us Famous podcast. Want to help make someone famous? Have a story to share? Get in touch with us at facebook.com/This Could Make Us Famous. And be sure to subscribe to this podcast so you don't miss a single episode.